My great-great-grandfather was Moses McKissack I, and he was a slave builder. He worked for one of the largest construction companies in the United States at the time, which was called McKissack. And he learned the trade and passed the trade of building down to my great-grandfather, who passed it to my grandfather. And my grandfather and his brother started our family business in 1905, making us the oldest architectural engineering firm in the country, so over 100 years old. They designed and built many of the historically black colleges and universities throughout the Southeast. But really what put them on the map was the Tuskegee Air Force Base that they designed and built during World War II. My father used to take me to work with him from the age of 6, and I would sit up on a stool and he would prop me up on a table and I would draw. And by the time I was 12 or 13, he was actually using my drawings and getting paid for them. So when it was time for us to go to college, he said we could go to school anywhere in the world, but he was only paying for us to go to Howard University. I ran the facilities for President James Cheek. And when I finished that, I decided to do the most craziest thing in the world, and that was to start my own business away from the family business with just $1,000. This memorial is one of the most significant projects that we're doing. It's not the largest, it's not the most complex, but it means a whole lot to me. We were the design builders for the upgrades and restorations of the Lincoln and Jefferson memorials. When the Park Service superintendent told me that these structures had not been touched for 50 years and they were not going to be touched again for another 15 years, I just said, oh wow, I get it. To know what they mean to America meant so much to me, that we were the people that were renovating these and responsible for whatever the work was going to be to make it last forever. And in that process, we restored the step where Dr. King spoke when he gave the I Have a Dream speech. And little did I know at that time that we were going to be the design builders for the Martin Luther King Memorial on the Mall. Well, Ed, I told you when we won this job, and I was so excited and so happy that I was going to give you our best. And I think with Lisa, that's what we've done.
My hat's off to McKissack McKissack. They stepped up to the bar, and they performed better than anyone I could imagine that could have been given the job.
Yes, I think that it is key that I am a woman and the president of this company, and that there is a woman that works for me that ran the entire project. When I look at the challenges that we've had as a company, I always feel like I have more of a challenge of being a female than being an African American. I think it's very significant that women did make a major difference in the civil rights movement. And Martin Luther King, he freed more women than he freed African Americans. I have truly enjoyed working with this joint venture. I used to work for Turner. Lisa used to work for Turner. And when I had my eyes set on this project, I put together what I thought was the best team for my client, and Turner was that fit. Turner also had a sister company, which was Tompkins, and now they're merged. And then they brought along the Guilford Group. So it's been a really smooth joint venture. I would say that our biggest milestone, and Lisa may have something more to say to this, was the first day that stone hit the site, because trying to get the stone to the site was a lot of work and a lot of moving parts that all had to come together just perfectly to make that happen. And once the stone is there, then the rest of the project can roll on through. Yes, the approval process was interesting, but we were used to that because we've done so much of that in Washington, D.C. It's almost an act of Congress to do anything here in construction. Under my mother's reign, the firm was selected to be the architects for the renovation and addition to the Lorraine Motel to build the Civil Rights Museum for the state of Tennessee. And that's a great museum because you can actually go into the room where Dr. King stayed the night before he died. They have the balcony cordoned off so you can see where he was shot. It's a very moving museum, and we were very proud to be a part of it as a family. So to have that and then to move that forward and be a part of the memorial is even more meaningful to me. Well, historically, just the fact that African American company were the architects for this project is something, because there are no other structures on the mall that we can point to that were designed by African American architects. So it's not just my family. This is a testament for all African American architects as to what they can do and what they can achieve, and it lets the world know that yes, we can do it. And of course my ancestors are probably turning over in their grave saying because of their struggle and their foundation that we built upon, that they too had a part in this memorial. I hope that the feel when people get here is one of inspiration and peace, compassion for others, collaboration, which are all the things that Dr. King stood for. Well, when I started this project, the Martin Luther King Memorial, I never thought that the dedication would coincide with our 20 years of being in business. And that just means so much to me, because our whole theme for our 20th year anniversary is changing the face of Washington. Yes, we've changed it physically in the sense that we've built buildings that has totally changed the landscape of Washington. But also, when I started 20 years ago, there were not too many female or African American companies that were doing what we do at McKissack today. So we've changed people's outlook in working with minority firms and women firms over these 20 years. I've had so much support from all different types of people in the city, from the political side, from the private side, to the construction and design, that I have to say thank you to these people, because not only did they help me become a success in DC, but they've helped me to really reach out to other cities. And now, we changed the face of Washington. Now we want to change the face of the nation.